Our mission is to collaborate with and support our communities towards the creation of systems that end and prevent homelessness. We envision that all people have access to safe, affordable housing and the social supports to remain housed. The CARES offices are in Albany, New York. CARES staff work in office and remotely from all across the state. We've been growing since 1990, with most of our new hires made recently. Our customers and partner agencies are located throughout 37 counties in New York State, covering approximately 65% of New York State. And now, a message and overview from our board president.
Welcome, and thank you for your interest in CARES of New York. My name is Audra Higgins, and I currently serve as the chair of the board of directors. Several years ago, a dear friend introduced me to CARES of New York and the incredible work they are doing throughout the state to solve the tragedy of homelessness. I had never actually been on a nonprofit board before, and like you, felt a bit out of my element. But through the encouragement and support of the existing board members, I quickly found myself sharing thoughts and ideas at monthly meetings and learning more than I ever expected to on the topic of homelessness and how I too could make a difference being a board member. On the board, we work to assist and support the executive director in leading the agency both operationally and providing fiscal oversight. But there is actually a better way to describe the special attributes of being a member of the CARES board that might give you a better picture into how you can affect change as a member yourself. Unlike many other boards, as a member of this board of directors, you are not having a focus on fundraising. However, we do get the ability to share in the joy of engaging in the support of activities and events designed to improve the lives of the clients CARES of New York serves. We also get to use our individual time and talents and professional networks to expand all areas of support and outreach for CARES. For example, as a board member, we have a unique opportunity to assist the executive director of CARES when there might be a need for new benefits, say, for the staff, or maybe providing referrals for products and services that might bring new opportunities for the members of CARES and its operations. As community members ourselves, board members can be ambassadors for the policies and programs of CARES and help to educate others to be inspired to engage with the agency and share our mission to end homelessness. And most importantly, we are consistently able to learn more about the issue of homelessness itself, both locally, regionally, and nationally, and be part of the conversation to bring it to an end. The stronger our board membership, the louder our voices can be. Board service consists of attending monthly meetings, engagement with committees when appropriate, helping us raise community awareness, and contributing time, knowledge, and insights to create the best possible environment for the agency staff members, leaders, and most of all, our clients. Our board needs people of all ages, backgrounds, and life experiences to be the best at helping CARES of New York solve this critical issue. We always welcome the opportunity to meet new faces in our community. We look forward to sharing our experiences as board members with each of you and provide acceptance, support, and guidance to make you successful. Thank you.
And now, a message from our executive and deputy directors.
Hello, I'm Nancy Harrington, Executive Director of CARES. Thank you for serving on CARES Board of Directors. I look forward to working with you. In addition to learning about the board and CARES from our board chair, I want to provide you with information about homelessness and CARES' role in ending homelessness. In this video, Michelle Dennis, my Deputy Director, and I will cover important information which we believe will help you in your role as a board member.
Hello, I'm Michelle Santos-Dennis, Deputy Director of CARES. In this video, along with CARES Executive Director Nancy Harrington, I will cover important information which we believe will help you in your role as a board member of CARES of New York. Specifically, I will discuss who experiences homelessness in our country, causes of homelessness, and the role CARES plays in ending homelessness.
Homelessness is defined as when a person lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. If they sleep in a shelter designated for temporary living, or in places not meant for human habitation, such as sleeping in cars or living on the streets. There are 4 types of homelessness. Chronic homelessness. This is the most well-known type of homelessness. Chronic homelessness is defined as being homeless for longer than a year. Many times, people struggling with chronic homelessness have something that is preventing them from fighting their way out of it. This can be mental illness, a physical disability, or addiction. They are typically older people. Episodic homelessness is another type of homelessness, and in fact can turn into chronic homelessness. It's defined as a person that has experienced 3 episodes of homelessness within a given year. Episodic homelessness usually afflicts younger people that are fighting health issues or addiction. Transitional homelessness. This is one of the more common types of homelessness. This form of homelessness is defined as affecting a person that is going through a major life change or catastrophic event. Many times when people lose their jobs suddenly and unexpectedly, they can face transitional homelessness while they look for a new job. Finally, hidden homelessness often goes unreported. These are individuals that are couch surfing without immediate prospects for a permanent house. They often rely on relatives or friends for a place to live. Since they never access homeless support resources, they are never included in national statistics.
When looking at national data, the largest population to experience homelessness are single adults. However, families with children make up a growing number of those experiencing homelessness. There are also specific subpopulations that are overrepresented within the homeless population. Veterans, unaccompanied youth, those 24 and under, and singles and families experiencing domestic violence are just 3 of the subpopulations. It's also important to discuss those who are most vulnerable within the just noted populations. Those who have a disability such as a serious and persistent mental illness, substance use disorder, or a physical disability and have been homeless for more than a year or multiple times within several years. Those who fit this population are chronically homeless and need the most support to become and remain stably housed. First is the lack of affordable housing. The nation is currently facing one of the most severe affordable housing crises in history. Not surprisingly, those living in poverty are the most significantly affected. As the gap between increasing housing costs and stagnant incomes widens, the end result is that more people become homeless. The second cause is unemployment or underemployment. Low-income households are typically unemployed or underemployed due to a number of factors, such as a challenging labor market, limited education, a gap in work history, a criminal record, unreliable transportation, or unstable housing, and poor health or a disability. For those who are low income but employed, wages have been stagnant and have not kept pace with expensive housing costs. Today, most households become homeless because they simply do not make enough money to pay for their housing. A third cause is a physical or behavioral health crisis. An acute physical or behavioral health crisis, or actually any long-term disability, can lead to homelessness. Homelessness itself can exacerbate chronic medical conditions. A person can become chronically homeless when his or her health condition becomes disabling and stable housing is too difficult to maintain without help. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, people living in shelters are more than twice as likely to have a disability compared to the general population. Health and homelessness are linked. Health problems can cause a person's homelessness as well as be exacerbated by the experience. Domestic violence is another common cause. A domestic violence experience is common among youth, single adults, and families who become homeless. For many, it is the immediate cause of their homelessness. Survivors of domestic violence may turn to homeless service programs, seeking a safe, temporary place to stay after fleeing an abusive relationship. Others may turn to homeless service programs primarily because they lack the economic resources to secure or maintain housing after leaving an abusive relationship. Another cause is systematic racism. Race and ethnicity are dominant organizing factors in America. They impact where a person lives, how they die, and practically everything in between. Homelessness is no exception. Statistically, the African American population makes up about 14% of the national census, but makes up over 40% of the homeless population. Additionally, literature points to substantial differences between racial subgroups of the U.S. homeless population in vulnerabilities, health risks, behaviors, and service outcomes. Such observed differences suggest that policies and programs to prevent and end homelessness must explicitly consider race as a factor in order to be of the maximum effectiveness. Poverty, and particularly deep poverty, is a strong predictor of homelessness. Black and Latinx groups are overrepresented in poverty relative to their representation in the overall population, and are most likely to live in deep poverty, with rates of 10.8% and 7.6% respectively.
Housing solves homelessness. Specifically, we need to build more affordable rental units for very low-income persons, increase the number of rent subsidies to make up the gap between earned income and fair market rent prices for low-income persons, provide short-term rental assistance for deposit and first month's rent to move persons who have no or limited income to quickly move them out of emergency shelters and into rental housing until they can become stable and self-sufficient. Permanent supportive housing is a type of affordable housing designed to serve the most vulnerable, long-term homeless people. This housing model pairs housing with case management and supportive services. Supports are designed to build independent living skills and connect persons with community-based health care, treatment, and employment programs. CARES has a permanent supportive housing program in the city of Albany. Other responses to ending homelessness include outreach programs to connect persons living on the street to emergency housing and connecting them to services. Prevention efforts such as one-time rental assistance for back rent to prevent eviction or provide court mediation to solve tenant-landlord conflict. Emergency shelters provide short-term stays for persons fleeing domestic violence or experiencing a housing crisis. Increasing persons' incomes to close the wage-rent gap through raising the hourly wage. Income supports or unemployment supports for low-income people to withstand economic crises, averting unpaid rent, which can lead to eviction. CARE's role in addressing homelessness is multifaceted.
At CARES, we envision a future where all people have access to safe, affordable housing and the social supports to remain housed. Our team is dedicated to empowering communities to end homelessness through community planning, program data, supportive housing, and awareness building. Specifically, the CARES team prevents and ends homelessness in 4 different ways. 1, we have a housing team that works directly with clients. CARES owns and operates a supportive housing program and works with our local housing authority to support a scattered site supportive housing program with units owned by private landlords. The planning team supports communities when applying for federal funding. The team then works year-round to help communities execute local strategic plans to prevent and end homelessness, to ensure the most effective use of federal funds. The coordinated entry team works directly with homeless service providers to implement and manage a system within every community that ensures that clients are properly matched to housing to ensure long-term housing stability. The program data team supports our communities collect federally required data that is then given to Congress to allocate funding. The Grants and Operation Department supports our local cities and municipalities manage local, state, and federal contracts.
Thank you very much for making time to learn about homelessness and CARE's role in ending homelessness. I look forward to working with you on the board.